Hello, welcome to the virtual neighborhood information presentation for the 2022 Street Rehabilitation Project number ST 2022-01. My name is Brandon Brodhaig and I'm going to be the presenter of this presentation, as well as I'm a project engineer on the project. Other city engineering staff include Jim Kozlucher, who is the Public Works Director and the city engineer, John Lenander, the Assistant City Engineer, Nick Schmidt, who is also a project engineer on the project, as well as Beth Kondrick, who is our administrative assistant. Communication for this project is going to be a little bit different considering the current events that we are having. Starting with, rather than having our traditional open house, we are having this virtual presentation about the project. All project communication will be virtual through email or over the phone. You can visit the city's website and find our project webpage. The link is below. Or you can contact us at web-streetprojects@fridleymn.gov or call 763-572-3554. This presentation is provided to help understand the proposed street rehabilitation project. We will discuss the project area, which includes the neighborhoods and streets that are included in the project. We will talk about tentative schedule and the major milestones for the project, special assessments, and construction and how that may impact you. And you can see a map of the 2022 Street Rehabilitation Project area. The project includes street segments in different neighborhoods across the city. The streets that are included in the project are the East River Road Service Drive in front of the Georgetown Apartments, the Estates at Fridley, the entire loop of Hartman Circle starting at East River Road, 71st Way from East River Road to Riverview Terrace, Riverview Terrace from 71st Way to 71.5 Way, Cherry Lane from 680 feet north of 53rd Avenue to Fillmore Street, Fillmore Street from Cherry Lane to 53rd Avenue, and West Bavarian Pass from North Innsbrook Drive to Arthur Street. The tentative schedule for the project includes a neighborhood informational virtual presentation that you are currently watching now, an opportunity for resident feedback through phone calls, emails, or meeting requests with staff on site through the end of November and the first couple weeks of December. Staff will then take the feedback received and create a feasibility study and set the improvement hearing date for the December 20th council meeting. We will then have the preliminary assessment hearing at the January 24th, 2022 council meeting. We will then award the project to a contractor in March of 2022. We will plan on beginning construction around May or June of 2022 and plan on completing the project in September of 2022. After the project has been completed, we will have a final assessment hearing in October of 2022. As you can see, the items and dates that are boxed out refer to a note on top of the screen that owners will receive a mailed notice of hearings prior to the hearings happening. This project is included in the city's comprehensive street plan. Council adopted the plan for maintaining the city's streets and alley system. Fridley has approximately 81 miles of local streets and alleys. The city has spent $4.1 million in pavement rehabilitation over the last 5 years. On the right side of the screen, you can see the city's 10-year outlook in the street resurfacing plan. The areas in the 5 circle bubbles are the 5 areas that are included in the 2022 Street Rehabilitation Project. The comprehensive street plan is created based off the street program analysis. When considering selecting a project, we look at the items below. The items in bold are the main reasons for the 2022 Street Rehabilitation Project. We consider the street condition and ranking, which we do yearly inspections of the streets in the city. We look at the time since the last major maintenance, which for these segments, the original construction took place in the 1960s and 1970s, with seal coat on the streets taking place in 2012 or in 2018. We work with our Public Works Street Department on the high maintenance levels. We also work with our Public Works Utility Department to determine the needs for utility replacements. And we look at the available funding for the project. On this slide, you can see some of the existing conditions of the selected streets in the project area. From the photos, you can see that these streets are in tough condition, have had high maintenance levels, have broken pavement areas, and have had major cracking areas. Street improvements include 1.56 miles of streets in the project, where we will remove and replace the bituminous pavement, and we will also replace severely broken or settled curb along the project area. There will also be utility work in the project area. The utility work includes replacing the water main on the East River Road service drive in front of the Georgetown Apartments and the estates at Fridley, as well as on Hartman Circle from East River Road to the west leg of Hartman Circle. We anticipate no sanitary or storm work, as they are in good condition in the project area. And we will work with the private utilities in the area to make sure any work that they need to get done gets done before the street is completed, so that they aren't coming back and ripping up our brand new street. Here is some construction information for the project. This includes access to your property. We will work with the contractor to allow access to your driveways during construction, except during major construction activities, which might include when they're working in front of your driveway. On-street parking. We ask that you please do not park on the street during construction. Temporary water shutoffs. The city water will require to be temporarily shut off during hydrant and valve replacements. This might require a shutoff for a few hours while they're doing the work. There might be temporary water. During water main replacement, areas will be placed on temporary water for a short period of time until the work is completed. Project updates and notifications. Residents will receive notification prior to significant work. This will include major project milestones, road closures, water shutoffs, utility repairs, and driveway coordination. Proposed special assessments are a part of the project. We have two different types of special assessments in the city's assessment policy. The first being low density residential, LDR. That includes those lots with 4 or fewer dwelling units. The assessment is based on per lot basis for those accessing a street being improved. All LDR units are assigned an equal assessment. Corner lots will only be assessed for one side of their property. The second type of assessment is the non-low density residential, the NLDR. These include commercial, industrial, manufacturing, tax exempt, institutional, and medium and high density residential properties. Frontages will be assessed actual project costs based on the lineal footage of streets being maintained adjacent to front, side, or rear lot sides. For the assessed properties on the project, the breakdown is 72 properties that are low density residential and 83 properties that are non-low density residential. Assessments are based on the benefits calculated using actual construction costs. On the right side of the screen, there's a map of the East River Road service drive. For this area, there are 4 properties of non-low density residential. On this slide, we show the assessed properties on the Hartman Circle segment on the left and the 71st Way and Riverview Terrace segment on the right. For the Hartman Circle segment, we have 34 properties of low-density residential and 2 properties of non-low-density residential. And for the 71st Way and Riverview Terrace segment, we have 35 properties of low-density residential and no non-low-density residential properties. On this slide, we show the assessed properties on the Cherry Lane and Fillmore Street segment on the left and the West Bavarian Pass segment on the right. For the Cherry Lane and Fillmore Street segment, we have 3 properties of low-density residential and 7 properties of non-low-density residential. And for the West Bavarian Pass segment on the right, we have 70 properties of non-low density residential. Here is a look at the LDR property assessment history based off recent projects that the city has done with the special assessments. As you can see, the special assessments have a range between $2,000 and $2,800 for most of our reconstruction projects. We have a note there for the 2017-01 and 2021-02 projects that were mainly mill and overlays and had a special assessment around $1,800. The 2022 street rehabilitation project is going to be a reconstruction project, so we would anticipate that the special assessments for the LDR properties will be in the range of $2,500 to $3,000. Here is a look at the NLDR property assessment history based off our recent project that the city has done with special assessments. As you can see, the special assessments have a range between $27 to $45 per lineal foot for most of our reconstruction projects. The 2022 street rehabilitation project, we would anticipate that the special assessments for the NLDR properties will be in the range of $35 to $45 per lineal foot. Payment options for the special assessments include option 1, you can pay a lump sum payment within 30 days of the final assessment hearing, which would be in October, November of 2022. Option 2 is amount assessed to the property taxes and paid over a 10-year term with an interest rate to be calculated by the finance director as 2% over prime. Recent interest rates from last year's construction project had an interest rate of 5.25%. And option 3 is senior citizens meeting certain criteria may request to have the assessment deferred until the future sale of the property. To qualify, you'd need to be 65 or older, your income level, or etc. And interest does accrue until the property is sold. As you can see with the note on the right side, you can combine these options by making partial payment and allowing the remainder to be assessed to property taxes. What to expect during construction? The next few slides I'll have photos and discuss about different aspects of the project. The first item is temporary water. In the areas where we will be replacing water main, we will be putting those houses affected on temporary water to allow for the continuation of water into those houses while the water main is being worked on. You may see an above ground pipe connecting to each of the houses affected for the temporary water. You may see some of the water main valve replacements. These valves could be in the street or in the boulevard, in these areas where the water main replacements are going to be taking place. For the water main replacement, the contractor will dig down to the location of the existing water main, generally 7 to 10 feet, and replace the old pipe with the new pipe in those areas that were shown on the map earlier for water main replacement. Here's another photo of the water main replacement taking place. As you can see, the contractor will dig down 7 to 10 feet around the other existing utilities to replace the old pipe with the new pipe. Along with the water main replacement and the water main gate valves being replaced, we also might be replacing the fire hydrants in certain locations with the water main work. We might also do spot curb removal and replacement. We will go out and inspect the curb lines along the corridor for any damaged, broken, settled, or drainage issues for the curb lines that are in the project area. We do not replace all of the curb, but only the curb that needs to be replaced in the project. The streets in the project will have asphalt reclaimed for removal. This process includes pulverizing the existing bituminous surface and the aggregate base together about 8 inches down to create a new aggregate base material. Here is a photo of the asphalt reclaimer going through and doing the reclaiming process. Here is a photo after the reclaiming process is done. We will have a gravel road for a short amount of time while the contractor works on the utilities and the curb replacement in the project area. After the reclaiming process is done, the contractor will come through and grade out the aggregate base. The contractor will remove the excess reclaim off-site. After the contractor is done grading and the utility work is done, the contractor will then finish up with the grading and the compaction to get the base ready for the first lift of asphalt. On the reclaimed streets, after the utility work and the grading is done and we have the compaction needed on the base, the contractor will then come in and pave the base course, the first lift of asphalt. After the utility work is completed and the first lift of asphalt is paved, the contractor will then begin on the Boulevard Restoration. Restoration will include all the areas that are disturbed during the construction in the project area. After the restoration has been completed, the contractor will then come in and pave the final lift of asphalt. After we put down the final layer of asphalt, we cut the street and fill in these streets with an elastic rubber asphaltic agent. These cuts are made about every 40 feet and at manhole and gate valve locations. With the freezing and thawing in Minnesota, things move and you end up with cracks across the street. Even on a brand new street with a new gravel base, the street will move and you will get a few cracks starting the first winter. When we make these saw cuts, we tell the road where to crack on a nice clean line. Water is sealed from getting into the crack and causing further damage. It really adds to the life of the street. Here is a photo of a project after it has been completed, and it is the goal of what the street will look like after we are done with construction. You were sent a resident questionnaire along with a letter informing you about this virtual presentation. You can send that back to us via mail, you can scan it and email it to us, or as the bottom right bullet says, there's an option to complete the questionnaire via SurveyMonkey. The link for the SurveyMonkey is on our project website. If you have lost or damaged the questionnaire, you can also find the resident questionnaire on our project website. The questionnaire helps us with the project. It asks about if you have a sprinkler system, invisible pet fence, if you have any plans for driveway or private utility repairs, if you have any water or sewer services issues, if you have a home business, if there's any dates of special events, family gatherings, graduations, etc. that we need to know about that could impact with construction. If there's any existing utility or drainage issues, or if you have any special access needs. Thank you for watching this virtual presentation on the project. Please contact the Engineering Division if you have any questions or concerns. I am Brandon Brodhaig. I am the project engineer. You can contact me at 763-238-8086, or you can contact Nick Schmidt, who is also a project engineer, at 763-238-8058. Or if you have general questions and you want to contact the engineering division, you'll contact Beth Condrick at 763-572-3554. You can always email us at web-streetprojects@fridleymm.gov. Or you can sign up for the project updates and notifications. You can bookmark us. We have a 2022 street rehabilitation project page at the link below. Or you can search street projects on the city website at fridleymn.gov. We will email updates so